What's up, boys? I'm back. Sorry I was on a little late. I was talking to my mom something over, but we're gonna get straight into it. This news is actually kind of like light tonight. Kind of fun doing some crazy stuff. I haven't really that much like crazy stuff, but we'll look at some of the articles and look at some of the videos. There hasn't really been any Iran stuff really. The only reason I put Trump news is because it's gonna be like probably look at like Trump clips. There is some more about like Grant Bland that we're gonna get into, and also it's about Charlie Kirk, more the Kirk trial. Um, so let's look at the rapid 47 real quick. See if um, oh oh perfect timing, boys. Here we go. Here we go, boys. Lock in, get your popcorn ready. We're getting straight into this, boys. Trump. All I can do is I can do his voice review, but I'm not gonna do it. 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded, and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands of more to really fall should the Iranian government act on its threat pronounced in many corners of the globe to assassinate or attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States of America. In this case, me. Oh shit! I'm trying to. Sorry, Chad. Change my screen. There we go. Essentially, me have already been given, and the U.S. military is ready to be able for a 1 year period of time, subject to extension to be complete, decimate and destroy all areas of Iran. Please to be a law. President Donald J. Trump. Oh boy, it looks like Trump might be attacking them again. I don't know if he already attacked them. I don't know, just Trump just doing encrypted threats. Um, it's probably him just doing encrypted threats. So, but we are gonna go look. Um, the problem is Trump says a lot. Trump says a lot of this stuff, right? He's going to wipe out their entire civilization. He said this back in April. He's going to wipe out their entire civilization. Then the next day he says, "Oh, I cancel the attacks. It was going to make a deal." So I'll wait till I see believe it first. But it's very interesting. I wonder if anything crazy will happen. But if anything crazy happens, I will talk about it. I will show it. This is College Trump accounts. Then he kind of tweeted a decent amount today. He said bigger investments just keep coming in. The Trump executives real big growing celebrating its U.S. spending to a massive $250 billion to build memory chips right here in the U.S. for years. Do nothing, Democrats bought down American industry with Russian rate taking economic discrimination, ridiculous woke mandates. They stole everything. Not even we are slashing the rental less, stop doing regulations and actually getting shovels in the ground. We are reshooting manufacturing to America and secure our supply chains. This means felons of free jobs not only get paid all across the country to economic security made America President Donald J. Trump. We'll see. He kept saying that we had $19 trillion investment, even though we have figured like $8 trillion. The problem is, factors. You're going to build finish building once he leaves office. So I hope that's true. But Trump likes to bend the truth a lot. So I hope that's the case. It'd be kind of nice if we had more these factories built in the country. It's like more jobs for Americans. I have to wait and see to believe it first. I guess it's basically just the same thing he's talking about. He's been talking about Tim Walz. So basically, Tim Walz is a fucking retard. He's a piece of shit retard. Basically, his political career is basically over Nick Shirley. Basically, when Nick Shirley, early in the year, exposed some fraud in Minnesota. He pardoned this rapist that was originally that the administration was going to deport, but it looks like Rubio, the issue said, fuck. Tim Walz, we're going to deport Manley despite the part. Let's go do a Tom Walton. I like Homer Lawrence. He worked under Obama and our administration. I like this guy Lawrence. He needs to be more involved in, like, in the with Ice and fucking Stephen Miller or Christian Miller and those people. But let's go look at Tom Walton.
Tim Walz.
Can't say it on air, but look, who pardons a child sex offender, child rape?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, that's how much he supports illegal aliens over U.S. citizen children. I'm glad Marco Rubio did it, but you know, this happens more times than you guess. Will, I mean, I you know, unless you understand immigration law, I see a lot of times a district attorney or in a sanctuary city, they'll downgrade a crime so they can't be removable. For instance, if you're a resident alien and you get an aggravated felony, you can be deported without even seeing an immigration judge as long as you get a felony conviction with 365-day sentence. And I've seen cases 355. So why do you think they did that? They did that so we couldn't act to remove this person in the United States. So this happens a lot. But President Trump, the Department of Justice, and thank God Marco Rubio's all over this. We're going to fight them every time they come with this.
I agree. It's so crazy. You would pardon a fucking child rapist, but he constantly complain about Trump being a rapist. You know, you gotta be consistent, man. Like, I'm sorry. If any illegal has done rapes in the country, you need to get the fuck out of the country. Go back where you came from. You're a fucking evil piece of shit if you call a fucking child rapist, man. That's just fucking insane. It's so dumb. It's dumb. It's very dumb. It's insane, but let's go to Rubio. So what Marco said.
A convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Bang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to pay his victim for her silence and called his heinous crime a minor thing. Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today, he has been removed from the United States.
Good. Thank God. Now, what's your man? What's in country? You can't live.
Any American ever again.
Piece of shit.
Americans must never be forced by their elected leaders to live alongside foreign sex criminals who have no right to begin with to reside in our country. This administration will always stand with the American people and defend them from violent criminals.
Thank God he's out of the country. We need to get these fucking rapists out of the country, man. Get them out of the country. Okay, this is all of this guy's because he was the ambassador today. Let's see what he's saying.
Yeah, we had a lot of allies that are willing to send what they have. A lot of it's minesweeping capabilities. Obviously, we have a couple allies that do have significant navies and maritime assets, and those are in the region, and they're coordinating with CENTCOM. So, I mean, you know, John, there are a lot of good things that are happening, but it just boils down to the simple fact that Europe was asleep. Macron called them brain dead. Whatever your analogy is, they were not capable and could not come up alongside the United States, and we have fixed that with President Trump's leadership, really historic leadership. We are seeing Europe, for the first time in 77 years, start spending more money on their defense, becoming more capable, and taking over the conventional defense of Europe. And that is really, I think, one of the biggest foreign policy wins of the second Trump administration to date. Yeah, we had a lot of allies that are...
We'll see on that. I don't think you're saying more. It's the guy that got reported, thank God. This shit's other stuff. Okay. I'll look at it later. It's a good perks news. Russia is sending engineers to back Iran's Bush and nuclear facility. Oh, Trump's not gonna like that. Trump's not gonna like that. President Trump has ordered the U.S. military to completely decimate and destroy all areas of Iran if he's assassinated. Oh, it's just basically just more like a threat, basically. Dutch intelligence says Russia had cameras near NATO military routes to track weapons deliveries. The U.S. gives Iran until basically tomorrow's over the Strait. Yeah, Strait's gonna be closed tomorrow. The gas will start up on Monday. U.S. demands Iran to publicly announce that the Strait of Hormuz is open and won't attack ships anymore. Yeah, they're not gonna keep attacking there. Iran tells U.S. recent attacks on ships were caused by an errant person. Yeah, right, man. Sure. Since this guy, Iranian parliament speaker, says Iran will never surrender. Sadly, they are going to surrender because they're psychotic. We should have been involved in the first place.
All right, my treasure, buddy.
Iran says it is not requested to talk to the U.S. despite President Trump's claims. Then Iran says Israel will not be spared if infrastructure is attacked. Then U.S. deploys 20 warships and 2 aircraft carriers to Iran. Yeah, we're doing another attack. If that's the case, we're doing another attack. Sally injured feels that Iran may be tempted to rebuild its nuclear facilities. Trump and CCR's already said that a couple of days ago. Reacted to that. I don't think there's anything really new on that stuff, sadly. It wasn't really like a lot of like stuff tonight, so. But I'll figure it out. I'll just make this shit off on the fly, alright? I'm gonna have to make some shit off the fly. I don't care about that drama shit. This is the Fox News Forensic correspondent who seems sad. That's just what we pretty looked at. Alright, let's go look at the articles now. Let's see what this articles might show us. Oh, the kids from NPR. I'm not a big fan of NPR, but I'm still good. Some of the housing bill. Democrats in Congress hold as the biggest housing bill in decades. Republicans call it a win for families. Across the country, it is a win. I hope Trump doesn't want to sign on because they say that thing's stupid. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt described on X as one of the most significant price of legislation, House legislation. She will tell Trump to fucking sign it, bitch. In June, both houses of Congress passed it for broad bipartisan support. President Trump called it a big deal and released signage shortly after his pass on Friday. The president reiterated that he won't sign it. Fuck him, man. Earlier, Truth Social posts Trump missed the bill officially called the 200th Century Road as an act as a minor that points against a true White House ceremonies. Fuck him, man. Really, sorry guys, I'll finish the article then I'll say plus more. Speculates that he would only sign if the Congress passes straightforward. He goes on to say that the bill would require proof of citizenship to register the vote authority. The Council it's stalled in the Senate where it doesn't have 60 votes to pass. To me, compared to say back, it's just about everything is a big deal. And Trump told reporters in June. Still, House Speaker Mike Johnson delivered the House and bill to the president on June 29th, starting a 10-day clock for him to sign or veto the bill. The clock is set to 11:59. Well, we'll know in an hour if the bill is passed, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. The clock is set to expire tonight. Without the action from the president, the bill will come along. Please, I hope Trump fucking forgets it. Please forget, man. I hope so. On Friday morning, Trump votes on Truth Social. I will not sign the House bill, which has been fully approved by Congress and sent to the White House. in protest over the fact that the United States Senate is not capable of passing the Safe America Act. Wayne reached comment the White House referred to NPR to the president's post. The Ellison bill aims to make home ownership more full, probably by encouraging home building across the country. It's packed with over 40 prohibitions contributed by House Republicans and Democrats on everything from corporate house and ownership to manufactured home construction, which explains why it passed with only bipartisan support. So those lawmakers' recognition of that house price has skyrocketed in the past. Many families can't afford courts. Realtor.com, a household making $75 a year can afford fewer than a quarter of the housing was available. Housing affordability is a permanent electoral issue in both parties, or particularly currently passed legislation needs to address it to end the midterms. What's announced despite Trump's downplaying the bill, it includes any idea he promoted capping how many single family homes big investors can buy. The bill says corporate landlords that own at least 350 homes won't be able to buy more. The goal is to make the housing market more competitive for initial buyers. That'll be great. Who are often outbid by investors who can make it all cash offers. Some Democratic lawmakers had a law supported such a ban. Republicans were more skeptical for Trump backed the idea. Still, House Republicans did push for the ban that would have required developers to up rentals for 7 years. It's not clear yet how much change this cap will make on the housing market.
2 weeks ago, they had a 17-point lead against the Miami Dolphins. In the Dolphins,
Just let me change my song real quick. They don't continue reading it.
he ran the ball for over 130 yards.
Nationally, these large investors only own about 3% of the single family rental market, although privately equity oriented much larger slice of the real estate. In some states, there was researchers at the government-backed housing finance company Freddie Mac say private equity is the only small driver of the housing shortage, since they typically buy up cheap homes and need a significant repair. And staff at both the left-leaning urban institutes and right-leaning taxpayer section of Alliance argue private equity can actually improve the housing shortage by renting homes that would have otherwise fallen out of the market. Other prohibitions are meant to boost home building, such as by allowing developers to skip environmental review if it's going up between two buildings that were already reviewed. Another prohibition creates a giant program communities can use up to develop a kind of a collection of pre-approved housing designs that would need fewer approvals before construction. Manufactured homes, which are generally cheaper than homes built on site, also get a break. The bill requires that they have a permanent chassis, a steel frame that makes homes movable. Housing policy experts say that they can save $5,000 to $10,000 in construction costs per home. They make more a lot of labor rates designs such as a second story easier to build. And while the bill doesn't add any new housing fund to the federal budget, it's designed to encourage home construction by sending more of the existing funding to communities that build more. The limits of the housing bill decision in Washington typically has less influence on the housing markets than those made within the halls of the local government or a private developer's office. Local zoning rules can't slow down and prohibit construction, and the federal bill doesn't make changes to these rules. Home buyers home builders may choose to not pick up their hammers if the market conditions aren't right. Developers have been pessimistic about these conditions for the last 3 years, partially due to high material and labor costs. And Congress doesn't control mortgage rates, and therefore, in fact, home affordability rates for a 30-year fixed mortgage are probably around the 6 point average, 6.5 on average, much higher than they were a few years ago during the pandemic. Even if builders start new development projects, additional homes will take time to hit the market, and affordability improvements won't be felt for years, according to Sarah Brognish, the president of the National Affordable Housing Lenders. She said this also explains why Congress has offered housing legislation so long, a single development from construction to market. It can take longer than elected officials' term. But Broadridge said housing for has reached the point where lawmakers can only do nothing. In June, the median assisted home cost is $440,000. Holy fuck, that's fucking insane. That's insane, Chad. And while local reforms needs to happen, Broadridge said that the federal bill is a needed first step. We have time. We have to take the time to celebrate that we have bipartisan champions. But moving forward to 2020 and beyond, I don't think anyone can run for public office without a perspective for the housing needs to be prioritized. I agree. I'm glad that Congress on both sides decided to. I'm glad that both sides of Congress decided to walk across down the aisle and work together, trying to, create this bill, get this bill passed for the House and Senate on both sides. I think it's fucking stupid that the president is being petty. He's basically just being petty. So he's the one to sign over petty reasons. I think it's just disgusting because he literally ran on making homes cheaper for people like me and for like middle class families. I agree that the Senate Act should get passed, but we need to focus on getting the housing bill passed, trying to get this Iran war situated, then pass the SAFE Act. It's ridiculous that Trump is just playing petty politics, because he's not happy about the SAFE Act. He wants to hold any other legislation hostage. It's stupid. This is the reason why his approval rates are going down. This is why he's costing the Republicans, because he's so fucking petty, man. He really is, dude. But houses are fucking unaffordable. I live in Texas, right? Houses in Texas are around $400,000 and $500,000. Even in my neighborhood, my house, I've been in this house since 2012, right? We got this house, we built, got it for $190,000. It's worth almost $400,000. It's ridiculous. It's like a 3-bedroom house. It's an okay house. It's nothing really special. But the house is right. So if it's right, do you want what? They're like $500,000 like houses. It's not like they're like mansions or anything. They're like basically the same size as my house, slightly bigger. But property tax in Texas is so expensive. And also the reason why there's been a housing shortage due to high property tax across the country, zoning issue, high interest rates, and also there's been a supply shortage. As you know, there's a big, back like in 2021, there's a big supply shortage, during COVID, the supply chains had a massive shortage. They were shut down during COVID. We had like a lumber shortage, we had a wood shortage. That's why housing prices went up. There's a shortage on building houses. Also, we've had massive zoning issues, high property taxes, also high interest rates. Also, we've had like a lot of people move into the country. Too. So it kind of increases also like the demand. In order to like get housing prices like wanted, you're trying to like, get rid of property tax, you fix like the zoning, and you build more houses, you get more like supply to build homes. So that's how you get housing prices go down. And this bill would have done that. This bill would have given access for more access to the houses applied for like lumber. It would have fixed like zoning. They probably. I wish the government would, like Congress would work together how to get rid of property taxes, because that's what's really killing people is how expensive taxes in the country. So that's what needs to be addressed. But no, I think it's just secret pay that Trump is just being fucking petty over over the SAVE Act. I do want the SAVE Act to be passed, but there's some more important things to pass first than that. They just seem to understand that. So let's look at some other things. So I ranted. Like I said, there wasn't that much today, really, to look at. It's kind of like dead, to be honest with you. Let's look at Fox. See if Fox News is like, let's go with Fox News article. See if Fox News articles about anything we could go look at. Just see, oh my god, Trump. Cryptic orders. We could go look at this again. It probably goes maybe more detail on what X was saying. Oh, this is just like a video. Okay, this is like 36 minutes. That's okay. That's like kind of like too long. Sorry, chat. They just being responsive. I don't know why it's doing that. What the fuck? Fucking Fox. I'm sorry, chat. Let me get into that. I don't know why it's doing that. I gotta get in there. Let's see if I can pull up with another tab. I don't know what's going on with Fox News. Fucking Fox, man. Fucking Fox News, man. Okay, there we go. Search online. Their websites be like that. It's just fucking annoying. Oh, it's videos. Okay. That's just sound terrible. This might go in more detail, I think, than what X was saying on X. Alright, just want to read an article. I'll look at some of the videos from Fox News in a little bit.
Tired of living in your inbox?
Let's see if on the actual articles. Yesterday I made a mistake and I'll be on there. On there. Okay. President Donald Trump said he has left behind instructions to strike Iran should Iran succeed in its attempt to assassinate him. Also, like Trump said, I'll say it again. I've been on their list for a long time, and that's what we're dealing with, he told the New York Post on Friday. The only thing is I've left instructions if anything happens, just to literally bomb them at levels they have never seen before. Trump said that Iran has won dead for some time, knowing that there were no new plans to kill him. When recent reports that Israel flagged an Iranian plot to take him out, the newspaper reported. There's Well, there's good evidence. There's a flag there that said we will kill Trump. There's like this is Iran as this Calamity is critical. No, it's okay with nothing. Trump said I put no one on Iran's list for a long time. It's the way of life. It is, listen to Fox News to reach out to one of the comments. Iran has sought Trump's assassination after he ordered a 2020 strike. He took out Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Most recently, mourners called for his death in the funeral for Iran's former supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. So they took out the first day. I swear by the blood of the Supreme Leader Trump, we will kill you, they shouted, with one woman horribly placed as reading kill Trump. There's picture of it, so there's proof of that. Domestically, Trump has been targeted of assassination plots in the United States in July 24. A bullet, obviously, shot his ear in Butler. That was still the same when that happened. Grazed his ear when a shooter opened fire on him during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, tension between Washington and Tehran to escalate after Trump called off the ceasefire after Iran fired on 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz this week. The Islamic Republic of Iran asked us to continue talks, Trump wrote on Friday. On Truth Social, we've agreed to do so, but the United States say to them, in no uncertain terms, that the ceasefire is over, paying attention to this matter. Trump noted on Iran's ambition to target during a press conference this week at the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey. Then they had leaders, they're gone. Then they had another set leaders, they're gone. He said, now they've never said leaders. They may be gone. Who knows? And you know what? I may be doing too. Because I'm their number one target. It's all over the place. Because they're scum. That's what Trump said. No, that's not me saying it's the quote of the president. President Trump is what he said. So it's what he said. So very interesting shit. I don't know if they're gonna kill him or not. Hopefully they don't kill him. Hopefully that Trump safe and grows to the president. Someone to be safe. So I hope he's okay. I hope he stays safe. Mexico vows U.S. will pay after an ICE facility shoots illegally reloading attempts to ram the IGH car. I'm very surprised that Aspen didn't talk about this on the street today. I'm surprised Fox News hasn't talked about it. Until the 5. I haven't really heard a lot about this. I guess there was another shooting going on with ICE. I've been so busy with other things in my personal life recently. I also been paying attention to other political things with the war in Iran. So with the rise of socialism, I ain't even paying attention to the other stuff. As you know, the ICE stuff is dominated by early in the year with Minnesota, obviously with the Renee Good incident, the Alex Prairie. Well, we go look at this. Mexican president, I can't pronounce her last name, Claudia Sheinbaum, I'm pronouncing her last name right, vowed to pursue significant legal measures against the United States after a Mexican national was fatally shot during an ICE operation in Texas. Mexican officials count 17 cases of Mexican nationals who have died in the United States of U.S. immigration custody. Well, Sheinbaum focused on Lorenzo Salgado Ariel, illegal migrant with the United States for decades. Why was he in the country for decades, man? Why did we allow him in the country unchecked? I'm fine with legal immigrants coming come in the country, they have to come here the right way. Like I'm saying, we need stronger faggots, we need more asylum officers, we need to have better background checks on these people. We need to do better vetting. We cannot just allow these people to come in unchecked, man. It's fucking ridiculous. I'll keep reading. DHS officials claim that Ariello was the subject of an ICE arrest operation when the agent shot him in self-defense because he allegedly ignored orders attempt to ram the agent. See if there's any video of that. During the Shane's Daily Monterey del Pueblo press availability of Mexico City, she laid out her plan of escalation of objections against U.S. immigration enforcement's behavior. Our goal is to go beyond diplomatic notes and any representations that we made to Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. We cannot tolerate this misuse of our fellow citizens, our fellow brothers and sisters in the United States. So we're proposing further measures, Shaboon said in Spanish. Shaboon said the Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs will present measures to Washington in calling out Ariello's death. This occurred in the context of detention, even though their only defense was lacking documentation, and despite being hired by U.S. company, why did the company hire them? It's illegal. Come on. Why did the company not just give him like a green card or give him a sponsor, man? I don't get it. She said that the U.S. has no reason to hold people like Ariello in detention or allegedly subject them to violence. We are therefore preparing obviously more security measures. On Thursday, Mexican Foreign Minister Roberto Carrasco said he is requesting a criminal charge for drug connection with the 17 nationals who died in U.S. custody, according to the AP, which reported that the request will be sent to the Justice Department and various state attorneys general. Multiple reports suggest that Shaboon's demands would have no legal effect in the U.S. courts. Mexico City has claimed 14 of the 17 died in custody were, while 3 have been killed during the active DHS operation, according to the outlet. Fox News digital regions and the Justice Department agents from the White House directly to digital DHS. Aliero with 52 transporting workers to a job list for a home building company in the Magdalena Park section of Houston. Critics dispute the government's recount offense, objects across over the lack of body cams on agents on the scene. Hopefully they release the body cams, someone will look at it if they have it out. And the DHS spokesperson defended the agent told Fox News that they had not been issued body-worn cameras because of the repercussions of the Democrat back agent shutdown this year. The process of purchasing and issue body-worn cameras to all of our ICE field offices were interrupted by the Democrats and most were shut down. Government shutdowns, body cameras have been deployed to more than half of the field offices, with the remaining half to receive them in the next 68 days. Spokesperson said she noted that 13,000 decrease in assaults against agents during the same period. Meanwhile, the FP group of coded Latino condemned on our own, the Ayacucho. So I can't pronounce this guy's last name. It's saying that the Mexican nationals should still be lying. People like should have applied, but I hope they do release footage because I do want to look at it. All right, but regardless, if they told him to get out of the car, right, and he was not complying, and you're trying to run them over, then yeah, it's justified, to do action. His story is the embodiment of what it means to seek the American dream. The same dream that drives so many of us to call this nation home. We're in so-called United States nearly for 35 years. Jesus Christ. He came here in the 90s. Family deserves immediate answers that came from a complete independent process from the very agency that upended the lives. Photo Latino Executive Director Beatrice Lopez said in a statement which called for Secretary Markley Moll's legislation. He's like been for like a couple months. I haven't heard much about Markley Moll. Oh, he's doing a good job with that job. You never hear anything about it. We heard a lot from like Christy because she was fucking awful. As about Jim Burns Warren, an ICE spokesman, defended the agency and then the counter defenses by deceptive Mariachos as trying to aid an agent. He refused to follow multiple verbal commands and weaponized his vehicle and tried to run for eyes law enforcement officer. On our officer firing his weapons. Spokesperson said DHS is leading an investigation to the agent involved shooting FBI using his leading an investigation of potential assault of the federal law enforcement officer. This situation will update the public available. Yeah. The problem is, man, it's just like, God, Jesus Christ. So this guy came in 35 years ago. So he came in at 91. Yeah, that would have been George H.W. Bush. Why did George H.W. Bush not do back, like, also, we didn't have ICE in, the 90s. Why did the Border Patrol, back in 91 not do a proper background check on this guy? Why was this guy not vetted? That's the issue. Like I said, my dad's an immigrant. We're from UK. I don't have any problem. People come from like South America, like Mexico, but they come here the right way. You can't just come here legally. You can't cut it down. You have to, if you come here to get a job, don't try to get a sponsor from the company that you got hired with, or try to get a green card, or just pay the money and fill the paperwork to go U.S. citizen. That's what should be happening. We can't have these people coming in line, man. Besides, you have to comply, right? If they ask you to get out of the car, right, you have to follow their orders. Don't try to run them over. Don't try to be confrontational with them. Then they will, pull out their gun or they will get physical. It's the same with cops. When a cop pulls you over, right, and they tell you to get out of the car, you don't get out of the car, then yeah, they're gonna drag you out of the fucking car, man. You have to follow their orders. But the problem is the leadership with ICE is so fucking bad. It's so bad that these things just keep happening. We need to have proper leadership with ICE. Seriously, we do. We need to have more funding for asylum officers, and we need to do proper vetting in the country. We need to have just have Tom Holman be charged of ICE, not have fucking Stephen Miller have influence on ICE, because he's just a fucking disaster. So, but hopefully they release the body cam footage. If they do release the body cam footage, I want to look at it. There's another thing. It's about the war. Israel signals readiness for another run during as Trump declares ceasefire over. Israel leaders are publicly signaling that their country is prepared to start the road for a third time, while U.S. officials so far conditional that Washington remains closely coordinated with Jerusalem. The IDF is on high alert and prepared to pursue the campaign, rain and air security, and carry out the independent Israel strike against Iran to eliminate threats for even a third time. IDF Minister Israel Katz said Thursday at a graduation with Israeli Air Force news pilots. If we have to return, we will return even with greater force, Katz said. This is from 2 days ago. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also warned Thursday that Israel's campaign against Iran was not finished and said Iran will not be permitted to obtain a nuclear weapon, regardless of any agreement reached with Washington. The war has not yet ended, Netanyahu said. The Air Force ceremony, alongside the old challenge, new challenges are emerging. Acts are falling, acts are rising. We are paying attention to this. We're prepared for every scenario. Two Israeli sources told CNN that the Trump administration does not currently want Israel to participate in the latest U.S. strikes on Iran. They should, because Israel keeps fucking everything up. Netanyahu would really want to join the U.S. strikes, does not want, but the U.S. Does not want Israel involved. God, Trump, do not allow Israel to get involved and just keep them out of this. They're like, Israel just keeps fucking shit up. A U.S. official denied the report on Fox News that this is fake news. The United States has a strong relationship with Israel, which contribute to the resounding success on Operation Midnight Ember and Epic Fury. We remain in close coordination with our Israeli partners. Israel's first launch major campaign against Iran in June 2025, the 12-day war, with the United States joined later, defined by striking Fordo, not in Asafan, in nuclear facilities on February 28th. The two allies launched a nuclear military coup against Iran. This was basically the start of the war. While Israeli leaders are openly presenting that the military, guys, as fuck, I keep saying that. I'm gonna go fire for a second. As ready for as ready for another campaign. Some Israeli officials and analysts say there's a little appetite for renewed fighting unless it produces a clear strategic result. The public warnings of Mayovers say Israel's desire to re-enter the fight, said Israeli analysts and the journalist for Israeli newspaper Yidov. Sorry, I don't pronounce his name. And now, whoever it is, on the records of Israel is signing is signaling that it is prepared and even eager to strike Iran, but all the record sources are saying that it's anything but that. Ayo told Fox News Digital the reason is clear. Any Israeli strike in Iran will lead to the Iranian ballistic missile attacks against Israel. Ayo said the domestic political consequences could make Netanyahu reluctant to begin another round of fighting, particularly as Israel approaches another election. If these strikes are meant to provide meaningful strategic change, it's something the Prime Minister can still sell to the public, Ayo said, but if the intention is only to use Israel as a leverage, why should Israelis again experience a couple weeks or more of sitting in safe rooms and losing their summer vacation, such as day camps, summer camps that could plan on badly for the Prime Minister politically? The truth is that Israel was not really enthusiastic about another strike yet. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if President Trump demands that Netanyahu join it, it's very hard to see Israelis say no. But right now, I don't see any passion for it. The diplomatic outreach continued even as Trump declared that the ceasefire with Iran was over. The Islamic Republic of Iran has us continue talks. We've agreed to do so, but the United States has stated to them, and no, uncertain terms that the ceasefire is over. Trump wrote in post on True Social, a source with knowledge of the situation told Fox News that the Qatari negotiators have traveled to the course of the United States to meet with Iranian officials in a effort to de-escalate the situation, create conditions for negotiations to resume. On Thursday, Netanyahu and Trump spoke by the phone, according to the Israeli Prime Minister's office, which the two agreed to continue coordinating across several regional fronts. Trump briefed Netanyahu on American Operation the Gulf. The statement said the military warrants came as the Wall Street Journal reported Friday that Israel had provided the United States with intelligence about what is described as a fresh Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. The developments follow renewed attacks on commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, where U.S. naval officials said that the maritime threat remains to be U.S. Naval Force Central Command remained at commercial vessels Friday that expanded southern routes through the Strait reopened open, and that neutral authority to require ships pay a fee for passage. A U.S. official walks his on the background that Iran's attacks against commercial vessels were acts of terrorism and constitute failed reforms under the memorandum of understanding between Washington and Tehran. The United States is still committed to find resolution and technical talks continue. The official says Iran can never plan to possess a nuclear weapon. Brigadier General Yossi Cooper-Weiser, a former senior Israeli military intelligence officer, who now is the head of the Jerusalem Institute of Strategic and Secretary Security. What's he doing that? Said Israel has never regarded the memorandum as an adequate guarantee. So Israel's MOU was never revealed to Russia told Fox News. Speaking of the memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran, Israel should be on high alert ready to face an Iranian attack, prepared to strike back if necessary. For now, Israeli leadership appeared to be leaving Iran and Washington with little doubt that they are prepared to act. Wherever the United States allows Israel to join the renewed campaign, however, could determine where the latest confirmation remains limited or develops into another full-scale regional war. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to read, guys. I don't know. Will the Warriors team? I don't know. We've done some mini attacks. Obviously, the last couple of weeks. Also, as we all know, like I said, the MOU is definitely officially over. We've done some mini attacks over the last week, the last couple of weeks. Obviously, Israel's still attacking Lebanon, and our Iran is attacking the Straits, attacking the Gulf countries and all that. So, will there be another full-scale war like it was a couple months ago? I don't know. It could possibly happen, but it would definitely be catastrophic because the global energy markets are currently on the verge of collapse because there's only few remaining oil passages going through. And if the war kept going on, it could be the global economy would collapse because gas would skyrocket again. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It's so unpredictable. Who knows what will happen? We looked at that. Joe Rogan said Trump is effed up. May have handed country back into the dams. Yeah, he is right. We go look at this. We go look at some videos of this. Does that sound good? I always like Joe. I've been watching Joe for years. You had Trump on this, on a show, 2 years ago. He's been press triple low. Podcaster Joe Rogan warned on Wednesday that President Trump may have accidentally hit the president back to the dams in 2020. That's true. I started on public order with a run. Trump may have brought some morality sensitive conflicts, but also has paved the way for the Democrats to return to power again. Rogan warned against Rupert Lowe for now, but if we did fuck it, if we might have fucked it up by going to Iran. Rogan said, this war it's nothing, something like that conservatives want. Most people don't want it. Except supports of Israel, that's true. Against abortions, they want. They're the only people that seem to think it's a good idea in this country. That's true. He added further, most people are horrified by the idea. Because Trump was elected, one of the pillars they so early they didn't want to start any more wars. True. While Trump has promised a golden age, many of his staunch supporters have since criticized him on one of them. A greatest campaign brought on avoiding foreign wars. Rogan and Lowe spoke about one thing that the Trump administration did manage to accomplish with some USA idea, which he and Lowe said is exporting foreign ideology to other countries. Rogan, however, had one key caveat. Of course, if there was ever a Democrat to elect in 2020, it would be starting that bitch right back up. Open the borders right back up business as usual. It's like there was a sex with people into blue states and eventually get them on social assistance. Then to get you voters globally, that's true. Was alarmed at how taxpayer funds are being misused. Saying UK has a similar problem, but argued that in the Trump era, at least you're making a stab at returning to some form of morality. Well, recall that he spoke out against the Iran war from a real politic perspective by arguing that it was an interest of the British nation. I think again most of the leaders should put the interests of their tax-paying public first. Yes, I agree. Thank you for saying that. There's the only reason to go to war if it was beneficial benefit going to be benefit you. Okay, I agree. I agree that's what Trump has done. It's kind of given the Democrat parties back to the House and Congress, back to the House and the Senate, which is not fixing the economy while allowing inflation to go back up, starting the rule of law, back down on the deportations. Not fixing healthcare that keep rising. Just not hiring the right people in the administration, kind of giving the Dems back to control power. But we're gonna look at some videos on YouTube with Fox News. Since we've looked at all the articles, it wasn't like I said, there wasn't really as much articles to really kind of look at. But so we're gonna try to find some if there's a Fox News that we could go look at. So just gonna see what was talked about. Sorry, gotta fix my headset. We can go look at this. I'm trying to see a really good one. They post so much videos, and some of them do really long and really short. I'm trying to find one where it's not super short, where it's not super long either. This is all from yesterday. trying to think one's from. Well, I these are from like yesterday. This is from yesterday. That one is from today. What is this? I don't know which one this is.
All right, we're doing pretty good. Give the Cowboys credit. You still trying to run the football. You did this guy unplanned the situation.
We go look at this.
Not only did they get what they wanted,
Which one is? Let's see this one. Let's see this one
Is
is.
in recess, but will resume.
Oh, they're talking about Charlie Kirk. All right, I'm gonna watch that one. I'll watch that one in a minute. All right. I'll watch that one in a minute. But I want to look at some other news on here. So, but we are gonna watch that one, obviously. So that's what we're gonna. Dude, they post so much shit on here. It's gonna really. Let's go watch this one first. All right, there we go.
President Trump says he's Iran's #1 target.
Oh, I can't
now, a
really
new
hear
report
it.
from the Wall Street Journal confirms it, saying Israel informed the U.S. there was a new
We'll go watch the Charlie
Iranian
Kirk
plot
one after that, okay?
to kill the American president. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and John, it is great to kick off this 1 o'clock hour with you on a Friday afternoon.
Yes, 1 o'clock sounds good, but Friday sounds even better. Good to be with you as well, Sandra. I'm John Roberts in Washington. This is America Reports. President Trump has been in Iran's crosshairs since he took out Qasem Soleimani back in January of 2020, and Ayatollah Khamenei's death is just adding fuel to that fire. The banners displayed on Iranian streets during the Ayatollah's funeral showing messages of "Kill Trump" and "Hey Trump, we will kill you."
Plus, shocking new details on the multi-layered plot to attack last month's UFC event at the White House and shoot innocent civilians as they fled. Our team coverage kicks off right now. Dan Hoffman with more on all of this in just a moment.
But first to our justice correspondent, David Spunt, with the very latest on the UFC plot. David.
Well, hey, John and Sandra, the president is well aware that Iran wants him dead, and country leaders there will keep trying. Watch.
I'm #1 on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm #1. So I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it.
So the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Israeli intelligence recently shared with U.S. intelligence an assassination plot involving Trump. But the president told the New York Post today Israel did not alert to a new threat. The president, in that same interview with the New York Post, said that he's aware of the same general overall threat that exists from Iran. Now, President Trump left Turkey on the old Air Force One this week, prompting speculation that the new plane, which he flew into Turkey on, wasn't equipped to handle threats. Now, the new plane, which Trump accepted as a gift from Qatar, flew ahead to England, where troops reportedly took a tour of the plane. Trump then flew back to the United States on the new plane. He downplayed concerns that the plane switch was due to a security issue, but it's a fact the old Air Force One, used since President George H.W. Bush in the early 1990s, has top-of-the-line communications and security procedures. Now, the threats don't just end at the Iranian border. Look at these men right here. Just yesterday, the DOJ announced that these 8 men were formally indicted involving a plot to carry out a mass shooting at the UFC fight on the south side of the White House
19, by the way. He actually 19.
Held a news conference
He's younger than
just a couple of hours ago in Columbus, Ohio, where this case is being prosecuted.
He looks older than me.
Once we had the information that we needed, the Secret Service and federal and local partners were able to identify and lawfully interrupt a communication network that gave us a roadmap to a sinister plot targeting the White House complex.
It was all because Tyson Cropper's mother called authorities on June 10th and said, something's off with my son here. That kind of blew the entire situation open for this investigation. Now, I will note this case is not being prosecuted in Washington, D.C. because the men never actually made it to D.C. to carry out the alleged plot. Cropper is based in the Columbus, Ohio region. That's why they consolidated all the cases and are prosecuting it in Ohio. John, Sandra.
All right, more to come on that as well. David Spun Force kicking us out this afternoon. Thank you, David. Sandra?
Thanks.
Okay, so let's bring in Dan Hoffman now, Fox News contributor and former CIA station chief in Moscow. Dan, good to have you back on the program. President Trump telling the New York Post today this: I've been on their list for a long time. That's what we're dealing with. He said the only thing is I've left instructions. If anything happens, it just literally bomb them at levels that they've never seen before. That is obviously a brand new revelation. He's left instructions if anything happens to him, as they now know about this threat.
Yeah, I frankly don't think he would have had to have left any instructions because, look, an assassination like that is an act of war. And in the event that Iran was successful in an assassination of the president, you can bet that we would rain down hell in response.
Oh, yeah, we probably
and look, you're right. President Trump has been in the crosshairs of Iran's security services, the IRGC. There was a fairly advanced plot before the election, which we were able to stop. And that's just one of many that are probably active right now that our intelligence community is tracking. This latest one that Israel reportedly provided intelligence to the United States on a credible threat to the president. I'm quite sure that our intelligence community is following up on that. We've taken some defensive countermeasures. You talked about the president flying home on an old aircraft, old Air Force One, which had better security. But I'm quite sure that we're taking the fight to the enemy and searching for those perpetrators potentially of this assassination attempt on the president. And we'll find and fix them and seek to either arrest them or finish them with kinetic strikes.
Bill and I spoke with Lara Trump and asked her about the threat against her father-in-law, the president of the United States, and she said this morning.
Unfortunately, I feel like this is kind of commonplace now. This is a president who has been targeted so many times. And I think it's because Iran knew that this president was one they had to take seriously. He had talked about the fact that they could never have a nuclear weapon. And I think they knew if he ever got in office, he was going to do just that.
Pretty sad state of affairs when you say this is commonplace. I mean, what this family has gone through, what the president has had to deal with, all of these outstanding threats.
I think that's kind of a little bit of nepotism.
Hey, it's not just the president, it's his daughter Ivanka. Remember that in May, we were able, the U.S. government authorities were able to stop a plot against her. It's an Iraqi who was trained by the IRGC, a member of Kataib Hezbollah terrorist group, and who was extradited from Turkey. He was on his way to Russia, but had conducted surveillance. It was in the early stages, but he had conducted surveillance with an eye towards assassinating Ivanka Trump. So it's not just the president, it's his family who were in the crosshairs as well.
Now we know 8 charged with murder conspiracy over this alleged White House UFC attack plot. Dan, there was a news conference earlier. This is the U.S. Attorney Gervais on how common these plots are. Listen.
It's hard to say how common plots are. I mean, there's, I think the internet chat groups, these encrypted applications that people use to message each other, make it more and more frequent. And they sort of embolden people to come up with plans and do these plans because they think they're not going to be detected, right? Hey, this is an encrypted app. I'm going to use that.
This is a whole new dynamic, a whole nother level, again, that they have to deal with from a security standpoint, the ability to converse and communicate over these encrypted apps.
Yeah, listen, I can tell you from my own experience, when you're looking at a terrorist threat, you want to detect it as far out left of boom as possible so we can detect the threat and preempt it before any harm is caused. In this case, you had individuals from different states who met on a TikTok app, reportedly, and then transferred their conversation to Signal only after first vetting the participants in this conspiracy. And so the opportunity to detect this threat was fleeting, and it was obviously very challenging for law enforcement. And ultimately, it was the mother of one of these terrorists who advised local law enforcement. And look, it reminds us all that if you see something, you've got to say something. And in this case, had the mother not come to local authorities, you just wonder when we would have been able to detect this. We would have been at the point of attack. And things could have gotten quite dicey.
Dan, appreciate you joining us on all of that. Thank you very much.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Crazy. Yeah, I think if Iran, was able to kill Trump, I think we would send ground troops. It would be basically 9/11, basically how we responded about 9/11, but it'd be on steroids. We would probably send ground troops. Who knows? We would probably might use nukes if someone actually tried to kill Trump. Trust me, I think if somebody tried to kill him, some crazy guy would just launch nukes. So, hell no, man. Don't know. Physical Plattner. What's the one about Charlie Kirk's trial? There is. Sorry, I wanted to watch their Raw.
It's a heart-stopping moment as a woman starts choking in her kitchen.
It's not that interesting.
Court is in recess, but will resume any moment in Utah for the last day of the preliminary hearing in the Charlie Kirk murder case to determine if the case will indeed go to trial. But now we know that we won't even get that answer until at least September, which will mark nearly a year since Charlie was shot and killed while speaking at Utah Valley University. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Emily Compagno here with my co-host, Kayleigh McEnany. And also joining us today, Lisa Booth, Fox News political analyst, Rebecca Heinrichs, Hudson Institute senior fellow, and Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary and Fox News contributor. Now, the judge has scheduled another round of oral arguments for September 1st. It took us 10 months to even get this far, after a handful of previous hearings over defense counsel's attempts to limit media access and remove the prosecution team. Today, defense counsel is calling its last witness, and the court is set to see more surveillance footage of Tyler Robinson on campus the day of the shooting. Yesterday, we heard pre-recorded testimony from Robinson's former roommate and lover, Lance Twiggs. He told prosecutors that Robinson confessed several times after the shooting. First, in a note that he allegedly left under Twiggs' keyboard, and then later over text exchange.
I didn't go into detail. I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it. And then he kept going around and just doing stuff, I think, to keep himself busy or distracted or something.
Either. Well, after the shooting, Twiggs allegedly received a message from Robinson telling him to look under his keyboard. And then there, according to prosecutors, he then...
This Rob, what are you doing? Look under my keyboard. This is just like... What? You're joking, right? Okay, so I'll play my life. I'm stuck in the room for a little while. Shouldn't be long until I come, so I can't come home, but I grab my rifle. So to be honest, I hope to keep this secret until I die of old age. I'm sorry to call you. You aren't the one who did it. Jesus Christ, what an idiot.
And found a note in which Robinson confessed to the killing.
Sorry, I just wanted
so
to
in
read
one
that.
text, Twiggs asked, quote, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson allegedly wrote back, "I am. I'm sorry." While Twiggs' testimony was playing, Robinson appeared to fidget when his former roommate revealed that Robinson started engraving bullets about a month before the shooting. Law enforcement says that investigators found several engraved bullets when they recovered what they believe was the murder weapon. The Kirk family has been in court every day during this hearing, but will now have to wait at least 7 more weeks before learning if there will even be a trial. Kayleigh, Donald Trump Jr. has come on Fox News a handful of times. He has been there in court, and he's been quite clear, I think more than anyone, in summing up the volume and the specificity of the evidence, as well as the diversity of such, from bullet analytics, DNA, the
so much, let alone notes and texts and all the things from defendant, circumstantial, biological evidence, physical, and so much more, and saying that it's cut and dried. It is cut and dried. And yet here we are 10 months later and now having to wait an even longer period of time to even get the plea to be entered.
Yeah, I last night had just parked in a parking lot and I looked down, I see an email from our producer, no decision until September. And I said, this cannot be right. This has to be a wrong email. And I opened it and no, indeed, it was right. No decision until September. This is mind-blowing. Judge Tony Graff yesterday cited Article 1, Section 28 of the Utah Constitution, and that allows Erica Kirk and the family to be treated with respect, with dignity, to be free from harassment, to be informed and present at the trial. But I would love for him to cite Utah Code 773872. You know what that gives Erica Kirk and her family? The right to a speedy disposition of the charges free from unwarranted delay caused by or at the behest of the defendant. Where's Judge Tony Graff's affinity for that statute? Because you are not giving that to Erica Kirk. You are not giving that to that family. Yes, the defendant has Sixth Amendment rights to a speedy trial, a litany of other rights. But the fact that this is not going to be decided until September, there's no decision on probable cause. Probable cause is such a low bar. And to your point, there's ballistic evidence, there's DNA evidence, there's a texted conviction, there's the roommate saying he confessed to me. There is a litany of evidence, and she doesn't get a probable cause decision until September, nearly a year after Charlie was killed. You can't make a decision on the plea. Tyler Robinson, we're not even going to get his plea until a year from when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. We're not going to know if this goes to trial until a year from when Charlie was assassinated. This is inexcusable. I am angry about it. On average in this country, a defendant enters a plea 24 to 48 hours after an arrest. Tyler Robinson has been arrested for nearly a year. And the fact that we will not know this until a year, Utah, you might as well rip up your statute about speedy disposition for the victim because Erica Kirk is being denied that. And I'm quite angry about it.
I feel it's particularly surprising, Lisa, because this judge was a prior prosecutor. While he's relatively new at the judicial bench, he was a prosecutor for over 20 years. So I would think he would understand sort of the clear lengths to which he is appeasing clearly defense counsel and seeming like he's unfairly prejudicing by far the families of the victim.
Well, yeah, I share Kaylee's frustration, and I'm sure Erica Kirk is very frustrated, as well as Charlie Kirk's family, to have to just continue suffering the loss of Charlie. I will say it speaks to Erica's character, which it was reported that she handed someone a tissue despite going through great pain herself here. It's very clear that there's enough evidence to reach the probable cause threshold that this will ultimately go to trial. I have questions about Twiggs. I mean, clearly he's not being charged with anything. There's no evidence of wrongdoing on his behalf. But just because something is not legally wrong doesn't mean that you should escape scrutiny, in the sense of, did you really, you have someone engraving things on bullet casings a month before the murder? Did that really not raise additional questions? And then also, why didn't you turn in Tyler Robinson immediately upon Tyler Robinson's confession? So I just have questions about that as well. He has limited use immunity right now in this, the preliminary hearing as well. So, he's protected from some of those things. I just have questions about him and praying for Erica Kirk and the Kirk family.
Indeed. And to be clear, what he's protected from are those statements specifically. So there could be potential charges for, right, we know that Robinson is facing 2 counts of obstruction too, including when he asked Twiggs
proven outside of his testimony.
Correct. So that's for anyone watching the
chat. I'll be right back. I'm going to go check my I'll be back in a minute.
For a second, but it dips down. Now they say, oh, well, it dips down, right? See, it's down right there. Let's go back in. Dipping down, straight down. ADS again, it's dipping down to the left. It's dipping down to the right hard now. You can see that it's completely random. Now, here's the other thing. Even if you try to fight against it, not only is it random, so you have to take a guess on it. I think it might be going through a cycle. It goes from left to right, I think, and then immediately snaps over back to the right again, and then goes down, left, right, down, left, right. That's how it does it, I think. It's almost like it's on a timer or something. But the biggest problem with this, you can end up fighting against this and actually start getting kind of consistent with, because even though, yes, it's more extreme than it was before, the sway was still there in BO1, but you could kind of fight against it a little bit better once they ended up reducing how much the initial sway was. And when you immediately got in to do like a black scope or whatever you want to call it, like a pop shot like this, where you basically like shoot before like the scope is even entirely up, you'll see a flash of the crosshair, and that's where the bullet will go, right? Now, even if we drag it out a little bit here, watch where the bullet goes when you ADS and shoot now. You see where my bullet landed, right? I was aiming like right here, by the way. Goes to the right. It missed the wall. I stayed scoped in a little bit longer that time. It went to the bottom right. I scope in again. It shoots to the left. It shoots down there. If I sit here and wait about this long, now it goes straight. Let's see where the threshold is. It seems like right after it's done moving, but it's like at the end of it moving too. Oh man, it basically has no scope accuracy for the first second and a half or so of you being in the scope. It is effectively like one of the hardest quickscoper nerfs out there. The thing is, they themselves years ago knew that this was overdone because it literally made all sniping in this game across the board completely worthless. Even like the hard scoping play style, it suffers from this even when you're not quickscoped. So some random guy that thinks that, oh yeah, I'm gonna snipe on this old school game, I'm gonna, what the fuck? What's wrong with my control? I could totally see that being a situation. But this is intentional. This is how it was when they released it. Then they had multiple balance passes. This is, by the way, when they weren't even really making that many balance adjustments overall. It was so bad that they released patches to fix this. This whole thing is intentional. I am not saying it's a bug. This is absolutely the intended way they wanted the quick scoping to be at the start. They realized, though, that this is really bad. They ended up buffing it later. The bullet doesn't go where you're aiming. The aim is fighting against you in general. The sway is out of control. Your character acts as if you're not even like a real soldier that was trained to ADS in. So unfortunately, BO1 is basically on like its launch patch version. Maybe it's a patch later. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that this is how sniper rifles were on launch. Also, though, I have no idea what that means for the other parts of this game. I don't know what was and wasn't changed along with the sniper rifle at the time. So now the main thing that really bothers me about this is because obviously I'm a sniper and I sniped a whole lot on this game. I produced some of my first montages overall with an editor and stuff like that on this game. I love sniping on this game. I was looking forward to it a lot. Yeah, I've been having fun sweating with the 74U and getting reacclimated to how everything looks and sounds and feels overall. I'm getting all those flashes of how it was back in the day and everything with like no skill-based matchmaking and everything. Like it just feels like the community is alive here. The thing that bothers me the most is that we get this version of Black Ops 1 where the sniper rifles don't work, and it's an early version of Black Ops 1. Whereas in Black Ops 2, I'm not sure how long the timeline was. BO2's version that it's currently on is the version where the DSR is nerfed. So let me get this straight. We have Black Ops 1 on its basically release early version. For some reason, we get BO2 on its late, multiple patches later version. Why is that? Why would they do that? I don't know why it's set up this way. I sat there in my head thinking, well, maybe if this is the early version of it, maybe we could go and get on BO2 and it's the unnerfed DSR. But it's not. The DSR is still nerfed. So we know that that version is much older. Why did this one get an early patch that cooks sniping and the other one gets a later version intentionally after the sniping was nerfed as well? That said, I mean, obviously sniping is still doable on BO2, but sniping it's not really doable on BO1. Even if you can do it on BO1 and you go and make a montage and you got your 5-ons or hit your triples and luck clips and stuff like that, but montages are going to be hideous. I mean, everything is going to be, you're stuck in the scope, no good shots across them, swinging all over the place. The editor is going to have a field day with clipping it and chopping out frames and shit on ADS. Yeah, it's just, it's bad. It's really, really bad. I just put this out there. Activision, Treyarch, I don't even know who's responsible for doing this stuff. I have no idea why you did it this way. Shame too, because I really do love BO1, but it really takes a lot of the enjoyment out of it for me if I can't do some of the stuff that I remember doing on this game. The version that this game is running on is a version of the game that did not survive very long within the community. Patches preceded this pretty quickly. It's a very, very odd, strange decision. So it looks like I'm probably going to have to go and play Black Ops 2 free-for-all sniping, and we go from there. I invested all my time yesterday into playing this. I don't know, like 12, 15 hours, something like that. I got to level 32. I got to level 27 or 26, wherever you get the L96, and just to find out that it's completely fucked. It's completely worthless. PSG sucks. L96 sucks. All of them suck. One little trick you could attempt to do if you want to keep sniping, though, just you can use variable zoom. Variable zoom does have a little bit less of a sway when you initially ADS in. The main problem with that is, though, is like your bullet is still not going to go where you're aiming all the time. Basically, randomize your quick scoping, no matter how accurate you are. You have to sit there and wait. And the main thing with quick scoping is, well, it has to be quick. So if it's not quick, it just sucks. Again, it still sucks even for regular snipers, people that want to sit back and snipe. I haven't seen a single person in BO1 actually sitting back in like the back of Havana, for example, the map that we were just on. It was a classic for people to sit there and snipe down the middle in those buildings. I have yet to see a fucking soul in there even attempt to do that, because everybody knows sniping is fucking horrendous. Default classes over there as well. No one is using it. If you guys can fix it, I don't think that they will. I don't have faith, but I have to put this video out there. Please, I beg of you, put the patch out where the sniping is actually fixed. If you could, since you put a late version of BO2 in there and made that the port version, can you please make this version of the game a later version? I prefer that. Thank you very much. Otherwise, I'm not playing BO. It just, that's how it's going to crumble. I'll just get on BO2 and be like everyone else, I guess.
By a psychopathic, retarded, leftist furry. That's what happened. He was killed by a fucking freak. And that's what it was. And again, but there are other furries and art assassins. There's other leftists and art assassins. But it was one of them. It was. And anybody trying to say that it was Israel or something else, the reason why they're doing that is they're being psyop into not being able to correctly identify the people.
Let's get back to the video.
And it's those people.
Immunity is simply for those statements that we watched yesterday in court by recording. Ari, what do you think about this? It seems like the whole nation is watching with bated breath, and certainly to help dispel a lot of those, frankly, insidious conspiracy theories that have been festering on the internet and online. Again, when you see that evidence, it tends to evaporate all of that.
Obviously, there's a huge hungering across this country, particularly in conservative circles, for justice for Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk's family. I mean, we all watched it. And so many people learned so much more about Charlie and his brilliance because of this, sadly. I'm not a lawyer, and so I've had a long-standing practice of I'm not on the jury. I haven't watched every iota of the details, etc. So I try not to comment on the day-to-day movements of trials. But I will say this, and this is what's scary. There is a left militia. In part, it's organized. In part, it's organized when you look at Antifa. In other parts, and this is what's even more scary, it's not organized like a militia on the ground. It's organized through hatred, and it comes out in violence. It's the shooting of Charlie Kirk. It's the shooting of Donald Trump at the golf course. That was a politically motivated shooting. The attempted assassination of Brett Kavanaugh. Now we hear about the 8 indictments of people who tried to get to that White House event just a month ago, to kill the attendees of the White House event. It is a violence epidemic that the left has not done its part to shut down. Just like they don't try to shut down the socialist ideology, they don't try to shut down the violent left-wing problem we have in this country. And don't be fooled. Just because it is not an organized on paper militia doesn't mean that hate doesn't unite people in violence. We see that on the left.
You're so right. Rebecca, something that struck me about the statements by Twigs, and of course all of this is allegedly, was the callousness, the amateur quality, the sort of obliviousness demonstrated in the interactions and in the text, how cavalier human life was approached. I didn't know, and now I regret it, and not knowing that he had children. It's like there's somehow a lack of humanity that I argue has been fomented online, that we see in dialogue, and then the frightening thing is if it allegedly amounts to actual physical violence.
Right. Well, it's monstrous. And you see this sort of disregard for human life. And then you compare that to with how premeditated this seems to have been with the sketchings on the bullets and everything, all the evidence that we're learning about too. The other thing, Kayla, I agree with you how frustrating this is, the delay in time to even get to this point. Think of something that Andy McCarthy said once about court cases today. Now in the era of social media, information hits a vacuum. And that's why you have these conspiracy theories that are blooming and creating even more agony for Erica Kirk. And I was really moved by that information too, is about Erica Kirk providing the tissue to somebody else crying in the courtroom. She didn't know which side of the court case that this woman who was grieving and crying moved by the information even was. And yet Erica Kirk is moved with sympathy to these other people who are suffering too. And so I just keep thinking about her agony and how she continues to try to carry on Charlie's legacy and help her children move on while this court case continues to inexplicably drag on.
Although I worry as we talk about the toxicity in America and this left-wing militia that Ari laid out, how difficult will it be to find an impartial jury, particularly with the publicness of this case as well, with a lot of people with poisonous minds in the way that they view Charlie Kirk and this case. So I do worry about that.
And remember, the standard is not whether or not you've heard of the case. The standard is whether you can be impartial. And that's what the voir dire process is for. And I always come back to the Boston Marathon, very public trial of Joker Tsarnaev after the Boston Marathon bombing, when the judge there, in denying the motion to change venue, was like, this is a city of 9 million people. We're going to find a juror just fine. We're going to find an impaneled jury just fine. And I loved that because I loved the confidence in essentially saying, no, it's going to stay right here, and we will find 9 or 12 impartial juries. I forget how much it is in Utah, which
you can't even get a jury until you get to trial. And this is the crazy part. And Emily, as you're talking, you just reminded me the defense asked to delay this preliminary hearing. They were not granted that delay. But they kind of were, because we're not even getting a decision until September to go to a trial. They need to do better. This is outrageous. A jury, great. Well, let's get to trial, right?
Also, if he releases his opinion that day, like he did yesterday, so remember he took arguments yesterday in addition to receiving their briefs beforehand, and then read his already articulated and drafted decision. So is this going to be just theater then? On September 1st, when he then receives oral arguments again, will he already have his decision rendered just like he did yesterday after wasting everyone's time? So then what's the point? So many questions, but we'll keep it right here, of course, and we'll keep you apprised of all the different.
Yeah, I think the whole thing's pretty crazy. I think that's crazy. The length till September. I think this guy, in my opinion, needs to get a fucking death penalty. He literally executed somebody in front of like thousands of people. Dude, you blew a guy's fucking head off. You got arrested if you listen to him. Why is it taking so long to go get a trial for this? So, no, I think he's going to get the death penalty. I hope that happens, but it kind of seems like the Utah law enforcement was definitely kind of corrupt. Reckless band with a pretty many things. So, yeah. We'll get some other stuff on X and back on YouTube later. We'll go back on YouTube later and see what's on X. What the fuck is this on? What's this thing? You guys, they just know the law to get given every green blade had to say with no pushback, and then not get a song even an ounce of praise of Jerry Wood also praise to James Fishback. What the fuck? Dude, I know James Fishback is like really kind of far right, but he doesn't support Islamic terrorism. He supports Islamic fucking terrorism. He literally had a fucking goofy terrorist on his stream 2 years ago. He said 10 toes down to the Houthis. Then he said he would prefer to vote Hamas over like Israel. fucking crazy, man. And this shit would just spam over to every terrorist that killed those 2 Israeli embassy guys in Israel last year. No, that's just fucking crazy. Fish back to fucking Assad. That's fucking crazy. Assad would replace China. Would you replace Cuba? Come on, bro. Someone offers I see Ukraine on what to Russia. Let's see what you're saying from the
They have more leverage in comparison to 6 months ago, but they don't have leverage in comparison to 6 months in. After the Russian invasion, that's when they had far more leverage, and they could have actually nipped this in the bud. Now that is, of course, if Russia was willing to do that. Okay, at the time, and perhaps Russia was not willing to do that back then. Who knows? I'm not, clearly I've made wrong predictions on this Russia stuff. I'm simply saying what I say all the time: give peace a try. Okay, give peace a shot. There's no harm in this. All wars end with treaties. Okay, that's how wars end. Do it now. Do it now when you have more leverage.
She doesn't want to put up with this shit.
Okay, this is what I have to say.
Not war. Just peace. Just peace. Just peace.
Give peace a try, capitulate to Russian imperialism. Oh my God. It's happening again. Oh my God, it's happening again. I'm gonna die. It's happening again. This is literally what this is what the people said during the Turkey summit. After Ukraine was able to push back. After Ukraine was able to push back successfully the Russian forces out of their capital. The situation has gotten far worse since then. Please. Yeah, for Russia. What? Worse for Russia? You think the situation right now is worse for Russia than it is for Ukraine? Dog, there's no world where 18% of Ukrainian territory has been taken over and de facto annexed by Russia that is a better position for Ukraine as opposed to Russia. I don't. There's no way this guy is Ukrainian, right? There's just no fucking shot that this person is Ukrainian, because now the majority of Ukrainians are in favor of ceding territory in exchange for a permanent cessation of hostilities. There's already the manpower problem hasn't gone away for Ukraine. Ukraine has actually gotten a little bit of a respite from the manpower problem by fucking utilizing autonomous warfare tools. However, it's not like those issues have gone away. Those issues still very much exist.
Nah. It's still kind of crazy that this Russia-Ukraine war is still going. I really still, like I said before, I really thought when Russia attacked Ukraine, I thought they were going to walk over Ukraine in 4 days. I was kind of surprised. It was 5 years later that they're still going on. I give the Ukrainian people this. They're definitely tough people. I give them that. Because I think also helped that we gave a lot of money to Ukraine. We gave a lot of javelins. We gave tomahawks. But I think the only way for the Russian-Ukraine war to end is put Ukraine in NATO, just concede some of the territory that Russia already took, and just leave it at that. It sucks that might happen, but if you try to get all your land back, you're going to be in this war fucking decade. Because Russia is not going to say, Putin is not going to say, all right, I'm going to keep all your land back. No, it's just not going to happen. You keep telling him, no, he's going to be taking more and more right? So it'd just be good if we put Ukraine and NATO, and they get to in Russia keep some of the land, that they took in Russia has to like help like rebuild Ukraine. Just watching shit happen. That's what Trump should have done when he had it cleared over back in Alaska. Oh, will that happen? No, it's not gonna happen. Russia, like Zelensky and Putin are too stubborn. So I don't believe in Trump says that they want to make a deal. I just don't believe that they're both stubborn. Like Putin realized that he could see Zelensky, he knows that he fucked up because he promised he was going to take over Ukraine. He knows that if he just sees like Zelensky, he can say, "Yeah, I fucked up, guys. I sold you full goods. I promised we were going to take over, conquer Ukraine in a couple of days." That they've doing that for almost 5 years. So, I know in Ukraine's laws that they can have an election during a war. So I don't know if Zelensky's afraid that he ends the war and tries to end the war with Russia, and that he would get thrown out of office. I don't know how popular he is in Ukraine. I know obviously Russia doesn't have elections because they're a authoritarian country that Putin's been in power since '98. So the whole thing's very interesting. I think NATO should handle more of that than us. So I know NATO's help with some of the troops in Poland that stuff. Because I had one friend who was in Poland, actually Ukraine actually. Yeah. Oh no, we'll see what happens with that. Turns out things at the end really like fucking retarded. Oh, I'm not hating that. I've seen some of it. I don't like streamer drama, man. I'm sorry.
Maybe I can be the next superhero that the world needs. I can become.
Dude. This is basically NFP, impersonating. Says when he started doing politics, he's friends with his son. He went on the son stream. Son's trying to basically brainwash his propaganda. He's sitting out in politics. Also, he's done wow stuff for years. Well, serious. I was watching Asshole earlier. He reacted to this, but all you guys see as we go far of it.
The next, trying to recruit him. He is. Are you gonna let him bang your mom? Why would you even ask that question? The system is rigged. After going on Hassan's stream and learning about those super PACs, it really does.
After going on Hassan's stream and learning about those super PACs, and he's right. The super PACs are a problem. They right.
I'm like, this entire thing is just some massive money scam.
Well, how the fuck do you think that Kamala Harris paid you a bunch of fucking money to go and do the stream with her? How do you think that happened, huh, Nick? Remember that?
Where us, the individual citizens, get absolutely ruined.
Please talk to that man. I'm not. Listen, I don't care what Nick thinks. Nick's gonna think whatever he wants. Like I've known Nick 10 years. Like I don't. It's not a. I don't get in. I don't get in my feelings about this stuff. It's not a big deal. Like I don't. He can think whatever he wants.
But I am not a millionaire anymore. I don't understand how many times I gotta say it. So your third job is gonna be Hassan's water boy.
Wait, is that?
Yeah, it's gonna suck. He's been going through a nasty divorce. Hopefully, I'm glad I'm not married, but I know going through a divorce is very, very difficult. You have to talk to lawyers, you have to pay damage fees and all that stuff. You can see property and money and all that stuff. I'm glad I don't have to experience that. So. But no, it would be so funny if NP started talking about politics. He could join Aspen and all the other streamers. And I'm kind of say myself, I've joined politics. It's just so funny how politics is kind of taking over on the internet, especially in streaming space. Because here's the fun, like 10 years ago, people would talk about politics like on Twitch. I would never find a million years that shit's on Twitch people on politics. So times are definitely changing. Now there's probably a million years that politicians will be going on Twitch streams. It's just kind of crazy. We had like Trump going even off the stream. We stream his rallies on Twitch. So, we had like Congress people go like doing like the silent stream and all that stuff, which is pretty crazy. Cutie, lovely guy engaged. I saw that. Good for him. I'm not the biggest cutie fan, but I'm not a big fan of anything for them. It's good for them. Hopefully they have a happy life. Hopefully they have a happy life. Some Grand Planter stuff. I should have read this. So Grand Planter officially made a statement about his own. This is what he said. To whom may concern, I write to formally withdraw my candidacy from the United States Senate on June 9th. 156,000 man years for a new kind of politics, one that is representative people down here in the real world, not doing it in oligarchs with little establishment mayors. Voted for Medicare for all, to ban all billionaires by elections, and taxpayer-funded genocide, and for everyone. They voted for a time and they continue for strong unions and jobs, taking rates families on. We hope they'll find a home for the chance to retire with grace. People are desperate for change, for this broken system to be righted, for the American experiment to be furthered over. Don't get past 11 months, thousands of man years. For their arts and time and found. And submitted this letter to the IC. The movement we have built together in the future we live in. My name may have been on the ballot, but that ballot belongs to people, and as such, please consider this notice of my official withdrawal. Here we go. Fuck ICE, free Palestine. What an asshole, right? Fucking ICE. What does ICE have to do with this? And what is fucking Palestine, dude? Oh my god, these people are so stupid. I get so annoyed with these idiots. What the fuck, ICE or free Palestine, man? It's so stupid. They clearly don't care about that. I keep telling you, they don't give a fuck about ICE. They don't care about illegal aliens. They only care about illegal aliens because they can get votes and they can basically exploit them. And they don't care about Palestine either. They just use it as a fucking dumbass talking point. So, because every time people ask, what's your solution for Israel and Palestine, they never come up with a solution. So, they're just retards. So, he's a retard, don't rest in peace, you miss fucker.
I came here believing it. So, I was so excited to have this opportunity. It's crazy.
I saw that. She doesn't know anything really about politics. But I wouldn't be getting my politics advice from the Sun or really from Aspen. I love Aspen. I watch Aspen. It's one of my favorite shows. I agree with some things that you said about politics. I can't trust streamers, man. always think we should come from me or came from like an actual person actually like into politics their entire life. So Elon Musk and Spencer Pratt come up here and say they are traitors. True. Just when Peanuts represents letting I can tell you I saw this on my TikTok. I love Peanut. I was just watching Peanut a little bit ago. I love Peanuts. He's so funny.
Tonight's service was a little bit of a debacle. Things were undercooked, things were not cooked, period.
One more Seinfeld guy, I promise. I know we don't like Seinfeld, but he's talking shit about Destiny and asked me for some reason. Let's see.
T prop on Jesus is on the Savior, the Messiah, the one to save the world from communism, T propaganda, fascism, socialism, and shocking his dog.
Different service in a different kitchen. I find that completely bizarre.
I don't even know what T propaganda is. Dude, my my haters have gotten significantly dumber. They were always pretty stupid, but as the years have gone by, I don't know what happened, but like they've just gotten stupider and stupider. I don't know how. It's incredible. You're built like Babe Ruth. What the fuck? I have no idea what Babe Ruth is built like. Babe Ruth is kind of fat. Oh, that's why he's saying that. Dude, it's such a weird thing that these guys are always doing nowadays. Like a lot of haters, this new thing that they do is like they'll either make me fat with AI and be like, this is what you look like. And I don't know why they keep doing that. I don't know if it's because they've hallucinated themselves into thinking that I look like that or something. Or they think like it'll get to me or something. Because like I've been pretty open about my body dysmorphia, but like it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? You can't just like you have to actually hit me when I am feeling insecure. Like if there's anything that I feel insecure about, like you can't just like fucking randomly be like you're fat when that's not the case. You know what I mean? Literally, then trying to trigger dysmorphia. I know, but it doesn't work that way. I've spent. It's because Epstein hypothesized you're wearing suits because you gain weight and suits look good even if you're fat. Yes, is that stupid? Wait, that's what it is? That's where this came from? That's so funny. I thought that there was like some other reason why they just kept. I thought it was weird because for all my for my entire career, even when I was actually fat, no one ever said I was fat. So I always found it strange that like in the past couple of months, this has been like the #1 thing that they keep saying. And I just and now like Asmund Roach also says it too, and it's very weird. And I think it's really funny because it only makes the people that are saying it look more insane. Because it literally is like when they say like, oh, Hamas, Diddy Piker, the dog striker, 9/11 enjoyer, stuff like that. Most people go, ew, you're gross. What the fuck are you talking about? And if you turn around and you're like, hey, isn't this guy fucking fat? Dude, look at this fat piece of shit, right? Most people are going to look at you and go, what the fuck are you talking about? Call Asmongold Bugs Bunny from now on? Trust me, what does that even mean?
Stress, pressure, it's not under breath. You gain confidence.
I don't know. Who cares? Well, Hassan's an idiot. Who gives a fuck? Oh no, Hassan's so stupid. He's all fucking back and forth. It's so dumb, man. It's just. I don't care. Alright, so let's move on. Look at something else that's So stupid. Let's go look at this. One more clip. I'll possibly can move on.
Okay, Jack. With what Adam says these days, and his content and his views on things, what if he said, yeah, I said the N-word, what about it? His chat, he would gain viewers, and he would increase his support from people, and people would like him more. I mean, let's not act like this is a form of gotcha. He's going to be avoiding, like he's going to lose something from it.
Why
really?
would you do that? Why would you do any of this? It doesn't make any sense.
That he's done it, he's losing it. I mean, that's like
anymore, man. People know. People know.
I guess he can use the views. Bro, I don't make the rules here.
Yeah, USA Today.
Like, I don't. My girlfriend?
So do I, but unfortunately, there are some.
Like I said, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know, people say, you know, derogatory shit on the internet. It's fucking internet, man. You know, like, you know, we all remember when Colorado was doing like back then. We say crazy shit. You know, I said the N-word like when I was younger. Also, I'm not racist, but I used to say the N-word sometimes when I would play God. You know, again, though, GPO too. You know, when I played football, I used to say Twitch or the other F word. I can't say it on here, but you know what I'm talking about. It was just the culture, like the N-word and all that shit. You know, we're guys, we fucking say stupid shit. So, you know, I thought it was done that people make me go, oh, that's who said the N-word. Bro, there's other people who say more shit on the internet. Like, who cares?
I always try and get faith, and it turns into something really fucking stupid. But let's get started with the USA Today piece. 0.5 minutes long, it's not that long. They just kind of cooked and we'll move on from there. I don't think they cooked necessarily. They cooked themselves, but they were very
from the far right. I think that Jews are causing a disproportionate amount of problems in the United States. You know, to the far right. Say, well, Randy Moss was so good in New England. Randy Moss was good. You bloodthirsty, violent pig dog.
That's right out the job. That's a hatchet job. Okay? So right off the rip, that's a hatchet job. Like, comparing me to Dan Bilzerian, you're not going to make anybody, you are not going to be able to get people on your side with this. So the question I have is, who is this for? Did Jonathan Greenblatt write this article? Did you write this specifically for a couple people, like the last remaining people in the country that care about this sort of stuff? Like, genuinely care about anti-Semitism, but also at the same time are like very pro-Israel. Like, who is this? Is Carolina well run? I think they're better right now than 2 years ago.
Worry about too is like my life is, dude, totally transformed. I don't go to the grocery store anymore. People go to the grocery store for me. Most of my meals, like when I cook a meal, it's like I love to cook. Actually, big baker. I like to cook for my kids as a special occasion, but I don't have to cook anymore because I've got an army of people who are willing to like cook me my food. My life is so weird. I fly around on a 757, no more TSA lines for me and the kids. It's so weird, but it can become the sort of thing that if you internalize it, you start to be an entitled asshole. And I think that's the thing that Mamaw would really be insistent on is don't become entitled about this. Recognize it's cool. It's a blessing. Obviously, it comes along with duties and responsibilities, but she would be very proud of me. I know she would. She would also make sure that I didn't get too big for my britches. I think that what Mamaw would be.
Yeah, we could tell that Jay fans to go to the grocery store because they don't know. Because they try to lie to you. Say, oh, of course I'm going to we're doing grocery store. Yeah, but these people in the administration like Bastin, Trump, fans, they don't go to the grocery store. They don't know where the price like at a grocery store. They don't know what the cost looks like because they're fucking rich. You know, J.D. Vance is not like Scott Bassett, you know, Peter DeFaro, President Trump. They're all fucking brilliant. They're all rich. you know, they've never, you know, experienced what being a middle class person. Like if Trump grew up with wealth, I don't know about Bassin, but yeah, these guys are
so many of these guys, myself included, like I've been doing this for years, right? You know this. I've been working in combating extremism, far right extremism.
Seriously,
And I used to be friends with a lot of these people. I used to see a lot of these people as my peers. One of the craziest things that I realized is that a good deal of the combating far right extremism was straight up only doing this because they were using it as
funny if it wasn't sad and depressing and depraved. And like I said earlier, this is actually the clearest cut case I've ever seen of mass psychosis and mass hysteria. This is group think. That's all that is. It's not like there's any new evidence today that we didn't have on September 10th from the conspiracy side. None of that stuff ever really made any sense. None of that stuff ever really added up. All this stuff about, 30-06 would never do that. Why would they repave the grass? Well, actually, it turns out bullets do weird things. And if it was a soft point round, which is very common, 16 out of 17 variations of a 30-07 from Remington are soft point bullets that are designed to fragment upon impact. In other words, not to go straight through.
There are people who have
that never made any sense. Why would they pave over right away? I don't know. Maybe it's traumatizing to have a corpse with all its blood pouring out in the grass when people are trying to go to class at the university.
I agree. Yeah, the whole conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk is so fucking true. I am so glad that their dumbass conspiracies are being shot down. I'm making pencils like a fucking retard. Because even Tyler Robson says, yeah, I killed him. And he told these, they literally showed text messages to his lovers. Yeah, I killed him. And he said I wish I put the gun somewhere better. So, yeah, I'm glad these dumbass claims being shot down. It was dumb. You know what to do with it. So,
Israel, then you don't see it. As a matter of fact, you
I
like it.
just
As a matter of fact, you
it.
defend it. The main thing is the way he goes just for America. Like that's here's what all politicians doing.
So good seeing Spencer crash out on liberals over Plattner. Hopefully he comes around cause he is brilliant. So someone should learn him on Snake Shack Jeff cozying up to him. He was just on Alexandria.
Yeah, I don't really get the infatuation with Graham Plattner. I just don't
I never understood
You look at, literally go to Graham Plattner's platform. If you go to his platform, it says, stop the mass deportation machine. We need border security and a path to citizenship. Our government is kidnapping people off the streets and imprisoning them in hellish conditions. This is unconscionable. Uphold tribal sovereignty and self-determination. The Wabanaki of Maine are entitled to true sovereignty and self-determination. Develop detailed platform on tribal issues with the Wabanaki who have been treated poorly. Equality for all. I'm tired of seeing politicians using small people as a punching bag, be it race, gender identity, or sex orientation. I will support passing federal anti-discrimination for LGBTQ legislation. So I don't find him particularly interesting or inspiring. It doesn't do anything for me, it doesn't. And it's just out of step. Like, yeah, maybe this works in Maine. This doesn't work at the national level. The Democrat primary is not decided in Maine. It's decided in California and New York and Illinois. So I just don't get it. But I haven't heard him out. Maybe I got to watch this.
Yeah, I never understood the obsession to me. Alright, guys, let's go look at some on YouTube, shall we, boys?
What Zionism represents, or even
I'll watch that maybe later.
Like, is there systematic discrimination against Jews in the United States of America or broadly in the Western world? No, of course not. Is there actual anti-Semitism?
I like to watch both sides. That's why you see it
in the Western world. Of course, yes. That is
I like to watch both sides.
So this is the problem. The problem is that we can't have a normal conversation about even something like last year. On the one hand, it is a terminology that neo-Nazis use all the time. Okay, it's a signal. It's a signal to say, like, I know this thing. It's also funny, but that's besides the point, right? But here's the problem. The way that, like, Goy was deployed in Israel is very different than the way that it was mass adopted by the neo-Nazi movement in the West. So if you're bracketing Jews as a contemporarily marginalized identity that receives tremendous amounts of systematic discrimination in the same vein as like black or brown people, right? If that's your assessment, which many of these groups do, many of these advocacy organizations do that, to the average person, you're not going to be able to get your point across at all because it's true. Right? It's just not true. And that's the problem. Is Sean had a factor why you clock like it is these days?
I don't know if you guys are trying to subtle. He does like Bob Bruder reviews too. I'm not, particularly interested in like looking into that. So.
In any case, the worst part is that even those of us who oppose anti-Semitism understand the role. So much to look through. It won't go away overnight.
I don't know. I'm sure we get some game or something.
I mean, most people don't use it as a derogatory term.
Like, I just ranked it to him playing real too.
It is being second class, which therein lies the problem, because it's topsy-turvy. Historically, we have been taught, for understandable reasons, about systematic marginalization of Jews, the pogroms, the Holocaust, right? Like marginalization that has led to tremendous amounts of violence that Jews have faced, right? Expulsions, death, destruction of their culture, all of this stuff. Now, of course, in contemporary society, there's nothing of that sort, right? Especially in the post-World War II universe that we're living in, there is no systematic discrimination, or rather, even systemic factors of discrimination that existed in the post-World War II universe in the United States of America have gone away, right? Like, there was a reason why Jews would create their own law firms, Jews would create their own advertising agencies, Jews would create their own like secondary market. That doesn't exist anymore, right? Like their own publishers. That was because they were outcasted systemically from the regular law firms that were dominated by white Anglo-Saxon Protestants for the longest time. So that's not
I didn't see it. I already watched
I wasn't around to witness the extinction of the dinosaurs, nor was I there to see the death of the final saber-toothed tiger. But boy howdy, I am lucky enough to be here to witness the extinction of physical games. I swear, Sony treats physical media the same way the Men in Black treated people that witnessed alien activity. Get the neuralizer out. Look here. No such thing as this. There's only digital. They have now just driven the final stake in the vampire's heart, the evil menace known as physical media. They have announced that they are ending physical production in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. For those that don't know, this means there will never be a physical disc for a PlayStation game, even if it's not a first-party title, because in order to even have a physical game on Sony's platform, it has to go through Sony. Thus, there will no longer be that green light, that thumbs up that lets you make a disc for their platform. It is only digital going forward. There is only Zool. It's unhinged insanity, because this comes only days after Sony just pulled over 500 movies from customers' accounts that they paid for while offering no refunds for it. So customers had 500 movie titles that have now just fizzled into the ether, into the fucking back rooms, and Sony says, suck our dick. You don't even get your money back. So you paid for limited access to these films. You rented them fundamentally, even though you were under the impression that you were buying them and owning them. But because of this digital landscape, you don't own anything. You are paying for a ticket that gives you access for a set amount of time, depending on the companies or depending on the licensing. The movies are getting pulled because of a licensing issue with Studio canal, but it's Sony's platform, and now all the customers that wasted their claims on it have nothing to show for it. It's just a void. It's blank now. You will own nothing and be happy, and Sony shamelessly makes this announcement in light of that, while also announcing that they're shutting down the PSN store for PlayStation 3 and PS Vita, meaning hundreds, if not thousands, of digital games that existed on those platforms are now gone forever and not preserved because there wasn't physical copies of them. They were just digital titles there. So they are genuinely right in your face, hitting fucking Fortnite emotes on that ass, laughing and ghosting in front of you, showing like, yeah, you will own nothing and be happy. Look, we just took down this store, revoking your access to these games that you paid for. They're gone, Buster, and there's nothing you can do about it, Slime. Not even the Dragon Balls could wish these back into existence. Shinron is powerless against PlayStation. But let's not get too rambunctious off rip. Maybe they've got a really good reason for it. In response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. Oh, shifting trends. You mean like how when GTA just announced with no physical edition, people were rightfully fuming, pointing out how awful that is in light of everything that's happened in this industry, where you can just have your access to the things you purchased revoked at any point in time. So if you don't have something physical, you literally own nothing. You own the idea of something. It's imagination. SpongeBob and Patrick in the Box imagining that they own their games right now when it's digital only. So if anything, the shifting trend in consumer preference is swinging back the other way to preferring physical media because of how bad this whole digital only shit has been. As consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical disc to digital, physical game disc productions for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued in January of 2028. Also, again, a load of barnacles, this is horseradish. People are wanting more physical now. Like, for me personally, I've been a big advocate of physical media for at least like the last year and a half, if not 2 years, because of this trend that we've been seeing of just losing access to what you've spent money on. You're buying nothing. You are not buying anything. And they're just dangling their dicks right in front of our faces. Ubisoft unapologetically said consumers need to get more comfortable not owning their games. Like, how can you possibly be supportive of this? And people, like I said, I think the preference is shifting away from digital in light of wanting more physical. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in this format. Also, something worth noting, this doesn't, like, they're saving a lot of money on not making physical games anymore, but it's not going to reflect in the pricing. The games are still going to be $70, $80 games. So like you're still getting slapped around with the pricing. It's not like it's going to bring down the cost of a now spiraling out of control industry. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as the general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical disc. This transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation on how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether that's at retailers or the PlayStation Store. We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. Hey, pal, you just blew in from Stupid Town. If you are a digital-only platform, why the fuck would anyone choose you over Steam? Like, genuinely. You have a worse store. You shut down your stores, too. You literally just shut down the PS3 store and PS Vita one, so people wouldn't even feel comfortable buying from your store, considering at any point in time they'd have to be, like, living in fear that you're going to swoop in like the boogeyman and take away the things they bought. You have a much weaker store in terms of titles than Steam. So why would they choose you? Like, yes, it is more expensive to build a PC that can handle, like, you know, more high-end gaming, but there are solid entry-level PCs out there. And yes, while PS5 is cheaper than that right now, I imagine the PS5 prices are going to go up as well, reflective of Xbox price increase. I think that's the writing's on the wall. There's going to be a price increase pretty soon. So eventually the gap's not going to be that big in terms of like price discrepancy between PS5 and PC. And
again, PC has a much more robust catalog of games to choose from in the digital-only format with Steam. So why the fuck would anyone ever even consider shopping exclusively on the Sony PlayStation Store after you keep going scorched earth on physical media and taking away people's products that they bought, thinking that they owned them? Like, the way they're treating this shit, I wouldn't be surprised if they start going door to door, treating people that own physical PlayStation discs like terrorists. Like, excuse me, we're going to need to sweep the premises here. We need to check your house. Do you have physical discs here? We got a tip. And they just start like taking it physically out of your hands to make you shop at the store. A store which, by the way, is more expensive shopping digital only on older titles. So if you bought the physical copies for some of the games here, like this tweet illustrates, you saved money getting the physical edition on like God of War, Ragnarok, Gran Turismo, those kind of things. But now that that's off the table going forward, these games presumably are never going to get cheaper on the PlayStation Store because they're still charging full price for these older games on their store. So they're looking to even make more money off of going digital only when getting physical down the line has been cheaper. Now they've fully got it by the titties here. They fully control it directly. So they never have to bring the price down because there's only digital options to choose from now. You can't get a physical edition now for these upcoming games. Thus, the price doesn't ever have to go down if Sony doesn't want it to, and it looks like they really don't want it to. Still paying full price for some of these older titles to this day. Now let's take a peek at the bright future of digital only with Sony's immaculate track record of having stores that they shut down and take away the shit that you spend your money on. This is their announcement about shutting down the PS3 and Vita store. After nearly 2 decades of supporting the PS3 console generation, we wanted to let you know we'll be closing the PlayStation Store on PS3 as well as Vita. PlayStation Store on PS3 will close in select markets starting this year, followed by global pressures for PS3 and Vita next year. That means new content purchases will no longer be possible once the PlayStation Store closes on these devices. To ease the transition, players will still be able to download previously purchased content after the closing date for the foreseeable future. As the PlayStation Store continues to evolve to support modern commerce systems, including updated payment processing standards, PS3 and Vita are no longer able to support these updates at the level required. As a result, we will need to close PlayStation Store on these devices in the time frames as follows. They then list out the time frame where eventually life support will be pulled on July 2027. That's doomsday. We know this news may be disappointing to PS3 and Vita players who hold a special place in their hearts for this generation of gaming. They represent an important era in PlayStation history. It wasn't an easy decision. As they continue to expand the PlayStation experience on newer devices, most of our users are playing on today, we need to focus more resources on delivering the best gaming experience on these platforms as we look towards the future. To our amazing players, we want to give a heartfelt thanks for your ongoing passion and support, which they love to keep wiping their ass with, by the way. Thanks for all the passion and support, Sony fans. We're going to keep taking away your games, by the way. And no physical media, by the way. Thank you again. Big thumbs up. Come give us a fist bump, which has helped inspire us to shape PlayStation into what it is today. What? A pile of dog shit? We're excited for the future ahead as we continue to push the boundaries of play. We look forward to having you on this journey with us as we explore new game worlds and new adventures that have yet to come. What a heartfelt message to the community and to gamers worldwide. Hey, you should shop with us digitally. And yes, we might just shut it all down at some point, so everything you spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on will vanish, and you have no recourse. That's just something you're going to have to live with. Why aren't you getting your wallet out? Why are you guys not shopping on PlayStation Store right now? This is exciting. This is coming from a place of passion. We're pushing boundaries here for a generational experience for our community. We're doing everything. We're bending over backwards for you bitches. You're so selfish. What? You want to own your games? Are you crazy? You want to own your games? No. You think you want to own your games, but you don't want to own anything. You want us to control. You want us to take it away itself. You want it digitally. Please, come on. Get in here. It's so stupid. They're so out of touch, it's painful. Naturally, everyone's pointing to this with the PS4 where they showcase, here's how you share your games on PS4, and then they hand each other the physical copy and say thanks. This was a massive dunk at the time, pushing back against a lot of shit we were seeing the industry starting to do at that point already with how they were handling like sharing games and such. And this was Sony lap spreading here and in making disc-based games a large part of the PS4's identity, which became a big selling point at the time that really propelled it above the competitors. And they made it clear with PS4 that physical was something they valued greatly, and like the importance of being able to share a game back and forth, physically passing it to one another. This was a huge successful campaign that they ran about that. So of course part of PlayStation's identity not even that long ago was these physical discs and being able to share the physical discs like that. Look at us now. Look at how quickly shit's changed, and changed for the worse, significantly worse. There are no benefits to this change. There is no one that should be excited about this, because why would you as a consumer even want to have the chance that what you bought disappears? You spent your money on it. You should own it, but you don't. And they're not even being honest with you about what you're doing. You're not even buying to own. You are renting from them. They're not even calling it what it is, which is renting. You are getting admission to this product, a license to this product for however long they deem necessary, or however long their deals with the licensor, like in the case of the movies, last. But you as a consumer could very well end up with nothing. Like they just take it away from you. That shouldn't be something you're okay with. Like it shouldn't. If you are okay with it, you're wrong for being okay with it. I'm just going to tell you right to your face. That is dumb. You should own what you are spending your money on here, and they're not even advertising it as anything other than you owning it. They're trying to mislead you with what's actually happening in this digital-only process. And it's just out of control. It is truly out of control. I can't, like, I had a hunch that Sony was going to go this direction, especially after the GTA 6 announcement. I had a feeling that most people kind of had a feeling in their gut, but I didn't think it would be this quick. This is a week later that they're just boldly, brazenly making this announcement that they're wiping their ass with physical media. Disc-based games, they're going to be gone soon. I thought it'd take still a couple more years before they felt confident enough to just pull the rug there and just say, like, all right, it's gone. But yeah, they did it, and it really sucks.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think it's ridiculous that like PlayStation, like that, like Sony's not allowing people to get refunds from like digital products that they thought were like the PS4. They're not like it's ridiculous. You can't basically own like your own, like you download something digital, you can't own it for rights. I think that's pretty crazy. But also sadly, no one buys like physical copies of games anymore. The last time I bought like a physical disc was like 2017. That was the last time I ever bought a physical copy of a game. There's no point. It's just easier for me to just go download like on Steam or go download it on like on Xbox, on Game Pass, download the disc where it takes like an hour or two to worry about scratch and all that stuff. But I do remember days where I go to like GameStop and find like on his moment or two, Black Ops 2, Farmers Market, left in the like Halo, Fallout, something like that. Like GameStop. Those are some seems to be the most hotly debated issues when it comes to Israel. Is Zionism. And the first election stuff she was allowed to, and then she got self-determination and state work. It serves as the foundation of Israel. She was not allowed to let other people in there to make comments. Just like Donald Trump was allowed to classify documents to recorders, right? Sure, but she was allowed to do all this. That's not why she was indicted.
This was a conversation that took place with me as well. And I think I did a pretty good job. I know like
She turned into a big into the West Bank and
yeah, I wonder why people on the left would equate
The underpinning ideology that developed the nation state was the settler colonial expansion state that started off with the ethnic cleansing of 50,000 indigenous Americans. I wonder why people would equate that. I wonder why academics would equate Zionism with exactly what Zionism is. And then she got arrested and has been for it. She went to court for it. Making this argument as though it's like a crazy thing to say. In 2026, when prominent Jews who live in Israel, academics finally coming to terms with this reality, and they're trying to game it out in a way, basically game it out in a way where they're like trying to slowly but surely get people to comprehend what Zionism is
talk about
by talking about what Zionism, in air quotes, has become. Omar Bartov is the, of course, person that I'm talking about. Omar Bartov is a Holocaust scholar. He's Jewish. He's Israeli. He wrote a book about what Zionism has turned into. Now, many people will look at that and say, what do you mean what Zionism has turned into? This is what Zionism always has been. I see something positive in that experience. What I see is a guy who's lived his whole life in Israel as a Jewish guy who is a prominent Holocaust historian, coming to terms with the reality that Zionism has become, and always has been, a right-wing ideology.
I know you had legs. No, these aren't my legs. I'm stuffed inside with chicken right now. These are the dead chicken's legs that I'm inside of his body. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to ask her. You know what's great? This is going to seem like I'm a fucking wire here. This is actually going to seem like I'm off the wire. People are going to clip this and be like, this guy's lunatic. But honestly, when you don't have sins for a little bit, the withdrawal from sins kind of gives you a similar feeling to being on. I like baby. Oh my God! I'm dead. Lucy, if you want to do anything, now would be the time. Okay. Hello, sir. Okay. What are we thinking there?
I mean, here's the thing. If Dennis thinks it's a full team, I can see how Dennis would be afraid to push that. You know what I mean?
But if that body jumped and mean mugged me mid-air with a wall in his hand, there is no way you're taking Loki's side of it.
So what's his punishment now?
Sex. Texas, Chile, Oklahoma. You're one big desert like 3 casinos. Fuck you. Serious issue here. Wife is 8 months pregnant and not on board with the vulgulator. Mr. Matt Smith, good man. First off, I want to say thank you. That's how I'd like to stop this. Thank you, Mr. Matt. You are a good man, and I'm sure you're going to be a great father. Now, to my advice, put the kid up for adoption and divorce your wife. There is not enough time to deal with the trivialities and anti-vulgulators. There's only time for vulgulation.
Traffic right behind you.
Nice trigger, Dave. Stupid bitch.
My whole zip.
Nice. Oh, Dick.
What is going on in the West Bank?
Peanut. Can I tell you something, bro?
Go ahead.
I go out to eat with this guy, and we go to like, we go to like a Mexican restaurant, right? And I'm eating 4, 5 helpings of chips and queso. You know, I love that stuff, right? Every time we go there, okay, I have to sit with Dennis at the table, and I have to hear him order this. Are you ready?
Ready.
Can I'm Dennis right now. Okay. Can I get a quesadilla with no cheese?
To see, if I was the waiter, I would immediately whip out my Glock 19 and open fire. Jokes on you, my dad loves mayo. He also loves getting fucked in the ass relentlessly.
The genocide
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. I've never seen a bigger smile on a fella. I have never seen a fucking smile on a fella.
Roasted by me and the homies. Rotating like a rotisserie chicken on a dongle.
Hell yeah.
Slow roll, baby.
It's embarrassing. Look at how tiny this is.
You're supposed to say I don't read because I hate these. Sorry, Peanut, more like Hogwatch.
better.
Get out of here!
It's so bad.
That was a bad voice crack. Please ignore that. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Do not clip that. Do not clip that. Do not clip that, please. Do not clip that. This game is like Fortnite, third party.
It has been of course, people that want to support the show and say, well, climate change to me means something. Maybe it just doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's still this ideology that is responsible.
Why does everyone think all of a sudden that I jerk off the hentai? Tim?
I may have spread that misinformation 2 days ago. Or a day ago. Well, I have to pick something to say on Misinformation Monday.
I don't jerk off the hentai.
All I said was, not what I heard. If I had to bet, I'd say that you probably
not jerked at the hentai. No.
I want to give you a quote from about 13 to 14 days ago. I would slip my SSD into Cortana's storage slot.
Okay, well that was growing up. Growing up, Cortana, you were just like, yeah, Cortana was like, you know what I mean? You had a crush to Cortana.
Yeah. See, that's where it starts, Tim. That's where it starts. The next thing you know, you're watching some 2D lady with an octopus with more tentacles than you can count, absolutely berating her in a displeasing fashion that most people would find sickening, but closely somehow arousing.
You guys are lying.
For a moment,
Stay frosty. Your mic did a real lot.
The community is very toxic, but it's a bunch of racist, toxic folks.
To walk in this bedroom. Me and my cousin, we were reading dirty magazines. We saw some fellas kissing. We ain't know what that shit means. We started reenacting everything we had seen. And that's when I gave my cousin a hand. He's not my friend! The big pig with motherfucker! Because you're seeing him right now! Get your ass back here! Get! I got him!
I was watching Peter around, so I started watching Peter he was all over my TikTok, reading my Twitch, and I decided to watch one day.
Let me see what God. Take a look. Take a look at that. What do you got in? Give me that. You go in my butthole. You go in my butthole, Mr.
Drop chat. This is where I start to look. Okay, I can drop.
What? I think there's people in the right building, I said. You need to go get them on the top. Okay. Did you give a zip line?
I heard cock.
What? What? Guys, can we focus for 2 damn seconds? Are we serious right now?
Yeah, I hear him.
We're over here. We're goofballing around. We're over here goofballing around. And we should be serious. Fuck.
Yes, like if you talk to some people right now, they see this with designers and they see not just stuff.
Like me, bro.
I lock it, bro.
They'll lock it, bro. See, you're dicking around when the rest of us are real soldiers.
I'll take care of this. Idiot.
Hell yeah, take that. Looks like he hasn't got enough, huh? Oh shit!
Don't see era.
Go aggro, dude.
You look at it and you say, well, this is technically barbarian.
Okay. And then I snap hook up here.
You snap hook up there, and then you hide behind the AC, then you drop it, and then I snap hook.
Jabotinsky, Theodore Bergson, and their assessment of what they were doing.
Oh, fuck.
About how this was a colonial.
I know Jewish people don't celebrate Christmas. Do they celebrate 4th of July too?
What?
Because they got Hanukkah.
Yeah. Does that have to do with the 4th of July?
Yeah. Well, how many would be? Well, hold on.
So you're asking
more than you can be upset
maybe, I think. Doesn't everyone celebrate 4th of July?
Well, no, not if you live in a garbage country. By that, I mean any country but the United States of America. USA, back to back, It's crazy. If Tim opened his OnlyFans, I guarantee he'd make $1 million on the first day.
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
Yeah.
I personally would sign up for OnlyFans just to subscribe to this account. I don't care if it was $50.
Now, here's the question: like, what kind of content would I have to post?
I just want you naked in a room full of butter. That's it, folks. Take off the stage, show your wiener.
All right.
As per military rules, I heard in the military when you first get in there, you got to lean over and spread your butt cheeks with your hands. Is that true?
Yeah. I think. Wait, isn't that make sure they don't have any drugs in them?
I don't know. I don't know why you'd be taking drugs in the military. I feel like.
No, that's like prison, bro. I think.
Oh no, that's true. No, it's true. It's true. No, all my buddies are telling me it's true. Well, you check for hemorrhoids. I mean, obviously hemorrhoids are probably pretty painful, but I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with me blasting a guy's face off with my AR-15. Hey, no rushing in the chat! But you guys busy anyways? Get out of here!
I think I just got $50 Argentinian dollars on YouTube. Let's go.
Oh, Argentinian dollars? What is that, like $3 real dollars?
Yeah, I think so. Dude, that's basically what the YouTube dashboard told me.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, dude, Matt.
Dude, honestly, is Argentina, who has the most hilarious dollar in the world? Wasn't it Venezuela? Either their dollar went up or down.
Yeah. We did catch him in the Some person did
My mom's dead.
Okay.
You had a friend to Cortana.
Dude,
you were lying. You said no.
Does Cortana got that down? Okay, will I admit Cortana got those buttons? Okay, all right. Would I admit her upload speed is better? It's not the same as the download speed, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, putting it down. Sure. Okay, but that was a long time ago. You are 35 years old, and you are jerking off 8 tentacles on an octopus, violating some 2D lady.
Don't jerk off.
Okay.
You guys are casting a wide net on this hentai shit because I gotta be honest with you, I'd yank out like once a year, like a holiday tradition to hentai, like at least once a year because like 14, bro.
Okay, there's no way.
If you get yourself into a tad bit of a pickle, okay, what you want to do is turn on your microphone and as loud as you can, yell, Viva Brazil! Viva Brazil! 50-50 shot they're going to help you.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Brazilians are a very proud people. And I respect that. I respect that. I would be, people are always like, oh, dude, Peanut's such an ignorant American. Why? He's raised in his country.
They look at this and they go, I guess James Pearson is not a
dumbass. I would suck a homeless man off an epoxy garage door.
I'm suddenly homeless.
Oh my God.
I know how to do epoxy floors too.
my man. Really, it's $8 to $12 per square foot.
Yeah, but what's like a square foot? How big is that?
Oh my God, this clip is so funny, bro. I remember this clip when I'm like TikTok. It's basically Flocky doesn't know what square foot length of a square foot. It was pissing Peter off, and he said he would want to like basically rip his balls off or something. That's shit's so freaking sus.
Meter. You just asked how big a square foot is, sir? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Are we asking the size of a square foot? Are we wanting to know the length and the width of a square foot, sir? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I'm sitting at the edge of my seat for this one. There we go.
That would be, now brace yourself. That would be, make sure you're sitting down for this one. All right?
For sure, I understand.
Make sure you're sitting down for this. That would be, don't hold your breath. That would be 1 foot by 1 foot. That's the dimensions of a square foot, if you must know.
A foot of what?
Holy fucking
like a box.
The queen's foot.
Oh, dude.
Going in. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Got him!
What you added you in there?
Oh, what the?
To say
Yes! Yes! I got You got this, John. You got this. Don't let me intimidate you. Don't let naturally good looks intimidate you.
Number one, this doesn't delegitimize me. It legitimizes James Fishback. So if your goal is to combat anti-Semitism, you already... That's number one. Number two, you already it's not going to happen. Reason.
I'm tired, bro. I'm gonna go bed in a couple minutes.
Beat the shit out of him! God, if your knife's going slow, it won't hit anything. No way!
Oh my God!
No!
Oh my God! No way we're gonna miss on that.
He doesn't even work at the Vegas.
Yeah. We left a message too.
What do you say?
Okay, that's not him.
How do you know?
It doesn't matter because for the last 3 years, okay, they saw it every day, and then they saw the Israeli state that was conducting the genocide turn around and shred of irony. So you know what's really the problem? My feelings. When you tell me that this genocide is wrong, no one is going to take this seriously. Give it up. Give it up. It's over. Give it up. Find a new mentor. This is the old mentor. It's not working. As a matter of fact, not only is it not working, it's actually backfiring. This is what makes me double share. This is what yesterday because people go, I don't care at all. And as a matter of fact, I will like it. Okay, that's how they respond to it. Defending being vulgar is a silly exercise. It's like trying to explain a joke. It's never going to be funny. It's already. I'm telling you sincerely what I believe. I'm not precious with my language. Is what I have to say. Yeah, I had a. You know what this stuff too? I remember this conversation. I literally told him, I I know this is exactly what neo-Nazis do. And I had a meta conversation about the piece that he ended up creating. The meta conversation that we had was, this is how anti-Semites get away with saying anti-Semitic. This is why you have to be extra careful and not conflate prominent of anti-Semitism who are also anti-Zionist with anti-Semites who claim to be anti-Israel, but are simply using Israel's unpopularity to slam in a much more nefarious subject, a much more nefarious goal to say this is how all Jews are. Because without realizing it, you yourself end up playing into that narrative.
So I'm not going to judge him for this conversation. I'm going to judge all
like this was so funny about it. It's just like, if I wasn't such a stubborn ass, if I wasn't so autistic, I would have given up on a long time ago. I would have been like, yeah, whatever, call me anti-Semitic.
That's true.
Plenty of people are because the reality is the most consequential element is Israel's foreign policy, which Gaza was done Lebanon was doing in Iran, and how much Israel's foreign policy melts into American domestic policy. Americans realize this. They're frustrated by it. They hate it. They don't want it. Okay? So all of these conversations about anti-Semitism are completely secondary to the real material harm that Palestinians have experienced, the real material harm that Lebanese people are experiencing currently, the real material harm that the Iranian population has experienced, and even the secondary consequences that to the American society that broadly is frustrated with this unlimited tax dollars going to Israel and want to change, and then get yelled at for being anti-Semitic, for being, the demands that they see about
Oh shit, there actually is, bro. Yes, there's actually these allocation options to be like, go ahead and make it for
so for them, anti-Semitism
why is the taxpayer like that? It's bullshit. The sense that we think that's what's really told by the child now is like Dr. Moss. And honestly, which Alexis sent to in social thought makers has been particularly flushing means one center levy failed, build 7,000 patients, but staff in a terror organization indicated 5-year actual attendees, electric cars, observed, facilities for flow, parent attacks, and all care activities, explosive growth of these city centers, since 2013, which will expend over $400 million annually. Fuck. This product value of banking cases in adult daycares and home service machines, multiple charge schemes, and 60 million to 20 million. Shit, that's fucking well, I'll probably watch a video on more than that, but that's insane. All taxpayers I'm so glad they made sure it was a trenches are
openly says their operations are only being classified for international security. National security. They have no ambition beyond the occupied territory. This is the last time. Its primary focus is always been the occupation. Now, in 1988, there was an Islamic charity, had anti-Semitic languages starting in its foundational charter. It's not the same organization any longer. Not that it matters, because no one wants to talk about why Hamas even exists or why it became a militant